Good morning, everybody. Thank you, thank you everyone to come, this audience here and online as well. My name is Cassio Brauner. I'm a professor, associate professor at the Federal University of Pelotas. I'll be here 1 year until this coming June, working with Dr. Felipe Moriel in his program here at the center. And today I'm going to present this about something the Brazilian beef cattle industry, environmental and nutrition challenges and opportunities. So I'm from down there in Brazil. I'm going to speak a little bit about it. I'm a professor at the Department of Animal Science. I teach some course like beef cattle production and reproduction in livestock animals, as well as ruminant metabolism and nutrition. In research, uh, our main focus over there is ruminant metabolism, either nutrition and reproduction, and as well as beef production systems. Over there, we have a huge research team that we do both research and extension. We work as a team as 5 faculties over there, and something around 15 graduate students and 25 undergraduate students. Um, Here we have this main building. We have our offices. Our labs are located here, and then we also have this small building that is the feed burn and a small facility for do some research with sheep. But most of our students, most of our students actually, we do with commercial farms, as you can see here, some of our activities, either research and extension, and we are very thankful for the producers that open doors to us to do our research over there and exchange some knowledge and have this opportunity. So my main topic is here today. I'm going to talk where I come from in Brazil uh, and give a little view of our Brazilian beef industry results and opportunities, um, some research interests that we have over there. But actually, my main goal is present myself to you and show something that I'm doing here, and then we expect to still go for some further years working together with Felipe Moriel and so on. This is Brazil. Most of you are familiar with these pictures here. Um, 85 or 90% of our cattle and our beef production system is just like that. Bosinicus cattle in pasture-based systems like this as well. We do Bosinicus in the north, most of it. But also, this is Brazil as well. This morning I was checking the slides and we were discussing that it's pretty much we have here around Ona. It's I'm familiar with here because it's flat, it's wet, but that's not that hot than here, but it's pretty much the same. The cattle. So in South Brazil, like 10% of the entire cattle in Brazil, we have this kind of picture over there. We do Angus, full breed, Herefords, Brangus, and Bradford. But just a piece of information, which is kind of different here. We the market over there sometimes demanding for this costs of cattle. So sometimes the producer can have higher price for this kind of cattle. This is Brazilian map. This is my state. I'm from the southernmost state in Brazil. Rio Grande do Sul state is the name. This is our main campus over there in our city, and this is the College of Agriculture where I am located over there. It's like maybe 15 miles apart, these two campuses. We have and most of you here are kind of familiar with this kind of cultural aspects that we have in South Brazil, like this tea. It's we call either mate or chimarrão, something that we learn with people, native people that were living there hundreds of years ago. And we also have this Brazilian barbecue way. So, and this cut is very famous. I'm going to put some pictures of that during the presentation because we are about lunchtime and have this. It's good taste, right? This is again this is a map of our state. We have 65% of our territory is this biome that we call Pampa. We share it with other two countries, like a great portion of Argentina and the entire country of Uruguay is pretty much the same. This is this red dot here is where my city is located. It's Pelotas, the name. We, as you can see, we are surrounded by water and like 30, 35 miles from the ocean. So just to add a piece of information for some people here in this room that love to fish. It's a nice place to fish, and you are more than welcome to go there in the future. This biome, Pampa, it's a natural grassland with flat and fertile plains with sparse shrub and tree formations. It's like this picture here. We have this pássaro notato. It's something, it's familiar with bay grass, but it's not that strong and produce, at least as I can see here. But we have a natural over there. I also put here this plot with rainfall and temperature throughout the year. We have the winter time during May, June, July, August. We have the temperatures going down, and the rainfall is pretty much like this. But the few years, it's crazy over there. We struggled this time, the summer, which some years and years ago, 20 years ago, it was a really good time because we had good temperatures and rainfall, but nowadays it's wet. So we are having some problems, but as an average, we have this kind of weather over there. So talking about Brazilian beef industry, as I told you before, this is our Brazilian beef cattle, Milor, and then we have some pictures of beef, and which we really appreciate over there to do some barbecue, and we like to eat this kind of meal. In the past 45, maybe 50 years, Brazilian beef industry increased a lot, especially the number of heads, as you can see here. We nowadays around 220 million heads in the country. And we can explain that like take a look in this beef cattle expansion, and you can see this map of Brazil. Actually, we have this increasing toward to west and north parts of the country, as you can see here, 1970s and what we have nowadays. And this map actually, it's good to see right now because when I show some information about weather, hot areas in Brazil, it's pretty much this part of the country. So where we have these high temperatures, also we have lots of heads of animals, something that we have to be concerned about heat stress. But I'm going to discuss in a few minutes. Again, Brazil is a huge country, like the United States. And if we do like a cake of our map, half of it, or almost this, we use to preservation, its native vegetation, forest, the Amazon. But what I want to point out is that we have like 9-10% of native vegetation that we have potential for agriculture and livestock as well. But even that, we still have room to improve our results as efficiency and and work more cattle, and so we have room to increase the production. This Brazil actually almost 90% of our production we sell in Brazil. People over there demand lots of beef, but we also export. So the countries in blue are the portions and countries that we sell beef, and here even in the United States we sell beef. And I don't know the reason, but I have found this around supermarkets here. Corned beef is something that we don't use to have over there. I have no idea the taste, and I don't know possible dish of that, but it's something I thought it interesting that I found here, products from Brazil. What I know in is the way of barbecue. Um, Again, three pictures from here. Picanha is our most famous Brazilian cut, and here also it's a very nice picture as you can see. It's very tasty, and it's something that we are proud to produce and to eat. As Florida is a state, well-known state about cow-calf operation, so I brought some data from our cow-calf operations in Brazil and in my state. We have around 81 million beef cows in Brazil, and we produce around 45 million calves yearly. In my state, we have around 5.2 million beef cows and produce 3 million calves per year. As you can see, we have room to improve these results, be efficient, and find somehow. Our breeding season is spring, summer. That's a good information because it's when it's hot over there. We do 20-25% of artificial insemination. Most of them, like 90%, it's timed AI. Weaning age is around 6-7 months, but we still have challenges, especially body conditions for at calving, because most of them it's by the end of the winter, and the other parts of the country it reflects the final wet season. And also another challenge is the summer crop areas, because crops like corn, soybean are advancing in areas that we use for livestock in the past. And we still have to improve some results for timed AI, especially taking in consideration heat stress and nutrition status of the cows. So research and opportunities down there in Brazil. I'm going to show you something that me, uh, my team and I, we do together. We do research with byproduct supplementation, either sweet potato, tannins, trying to find some ways to use for livestock, supplements and additives to ruminants like yeast, methionine, enzymes, and in reproduction, trying to improve the results of timed AI programs, puberty, and postpartum interval, especially in beef cows. Apart of one of these research, and it's uh, familiar, similar, and related to what I'm doing here, it's about heat stress in cattle. So some years ago, a colleague of mine and a friend of mine, Dr. Eduardo Schmidt, he shared to us some personal experience living in a very hot place. It's another state north of the country. So it was very challenging because of the temperatures, the wet. And then when he came back to south, he lived there for a while. Then he came back to South, and we started to discuss that, well, we should do some research, then learn about it, either South Brazil and other parts of the country, because heat, heat, heat stress has some issues like reduced feed intake, cause change in animals' metabolism, increase energy metabolization, decrease fertility and reproduction as well. We have some strategies to control that, either nutritional, dietary supplementation, methionine, vitamin E, betaine, and other like shaped areas, either natural or artificial ones. Even that, taking consider not only Brazil, but as the, the whole world, we still have to produce more food, and probably talking about beef, like 70% of this increase, we have to get this in regions like tropical and subtropical areas in the planet. Here in this map, you can see that like 80% of the cattle is located in this kind of area. So areas like that, probably the cattle is struggling heat stress. So, but in Brazil, uh, we start to do some, or start to make some questions like, does it a real problem in Brazil? Because in north or north central Brazil, people usually don't believe that is a real problem because they have bosinicus cattle, which is very well adapted to that condition. In South Brazil, people don't believe it was a problem because it's colder, or people believe so. So we start to think, well, let's see if that's true, or how heat stress can impact animals over there. Also, we have other questions like, can we modulate some response? Can we improve reproductive performance? So we choose to do the research, some experiments, and use some methionine as a supplement, and then start to do studies with that in cattle, because studies in rats submitted to dietary methionine restriction showed several metabolic changes in the past, such as increased body temperature, cell respiration rate. Also, methionine helps in the protein synthesis, helping to prevent proteolysis, and participates in the process of heat sensitivity. So this is a Brazilian map. Throughout the year, the temperatures are, as you can see here, during the June, July, we have cold temperatures here down southern Brazil, but it's really hot in the center north part of the country. And then during our spring, start to be hot in south and still hot in center part of the country. So as you can see, the parts of the country, we have high temperature all along the year. And as I mentioned before, these areas here, we have lots of cattle. Most of cattle is located here, and it's the same area that it's very hot at the beginning of breeding season, and we should take a look and see what happened during this time of the year. Also, lately we are having more increase of Bos-Taurus percentage in our herds, especially because producers are chasing meat quality, and in Brazil, meat quality is difficult to. We don't have actually a statement or a grade, so people usually relate meat quality with the breed. So we have, it's pretty much as we have here, these certifications, and this is an example of Angus. Actually, Angus is the second breed that most sell semen doses in Brazil. nowadays it's very important is its increase. So we did 4 different trials in 3 different locations, actually 3 different states in Brazil. We started in our state in South Brazil. Actually, I have to mention that before start beef, this colleague that I mentioned did some research with dairy cows over there. We got very interesting results. So then we start to do in beef. So we did 2 trials in our state, then another one north of the country, and the final one we still are working the results in southeast part of the country. Let's say the first trial we did with Brangus cows. It's in our state we use methionine. The commercial product name is Smartamine, and I'm going to explain both first the first study and the second one in this slide. We did with heifers and then cows. We did it during 45 days and 25 days prior to the breed protocol, which was the time of the artificial insemination. And during this protocol, we check the follicular waves, the increase of the follicular size. And then by the end of the supplementation, we did the preg check at 30 days. And after 30 days, we did the preg check as well. Okay. So we use this thermometer, the vaginal one, pretty much the same as we use here, and a small station to get information about the weather outside. And then we could see differences, different response among groups, like the control groups had increasing the temperatures along that time. The methionine group had lower temperatures during this time. Also, the counts in the methionine group have increased, especially in this period that was really close to the breeding time, with increased the body weight as well. Here, during the breeding, the protocol, we have this difference in the temperature in both groups, methionine with lower temperatures during those days. And then we got these results about the follicular weight, the increase in the follicular size during the protocol, which the heifers in the methionine group had increased, especially day 8 and day 9, and then it was the same during this protocol. However, we didn't have a large number of cows enrolled in both groups, so we couldn't find difference for pregnancy rate either 30 days and 60 days. Then we just showing the results for the trial 2. We use full breed Angus, our state again. We also got an interesting response in temperatures of the animals, the females, and they show differently than the other one an increase of follicular diameter, but at the end of the breed. So can be related to estradiol production at this time, ovulation, and then a good corpus luteum after it. However, again, we didn't have a large number of animals. We couldn't find any difference for pregnancy either 30 days and 60 days in this study. So we did another study. We still have some results to work on it, but it was in north part of the country with different breed, Milor counts, Bosinicus, hot and wet. If you have any further questions, I'll be comfortable to share with Vinicius, because Vinicius was the author of it over there in Brazil. Even he took those pictures and shared with me. Thank you, Vinicius. And here showing the cattle, the supplementation. The design was pretty much the same, but we started this study 31 days before the breeding season, the protocol, the fixed time protocol. And the main result that I'm going to share here is about the pregnancy, because here we have good size of both groups, 300, almost 400 animals in each group. Oops. So again, we got low temperatures in the methionine groups during these hours of the day, but we shared this. We had 4 different groups during the protocol, but at this time, even with large number of animals, we couldn't find any difference of pregnancy rates here. So we have some results that possible indicate some methionine effects, positive effects on reproduction. However, we needed to understand better how this modulation happened. We already finished the 4th trial, but even yesterday I was discussing with master students over there in Brazil. She's going to use the results for her 3rd thesis, but we don't have it by now. So let's see what happens in the near future. So next steps, we need to better understand about methionine role during the breeding season, understand of heat stress affects Bos indicus cattle in Brazil, if it really is a big deal, because we could see that even Bos indicus cattle, methionine could impact and lower the temperature. And let's see, we have sent, and I'm discussing a little bit about it. One of the plans for the future is increase the interaction with Dr. Felipe Moriel and his program, have students coming here, more research in Brazil, exchanging information, work. And last month, we sent 2 grants to the Brazilian government to fund, trying to get some funding for this research over there in Brazil. So I'm about to finish here. I'm thankful for people in this center, especially Felipe, that have this opportunity to come here for 1 year. All the staff, students, and faculty. I've been here actually 3 months now. Me and my family were so welcome here. We have a very nice experience. As I told before, people here is very, very nice and friendly and kind. I put this picture of my son. It was more than 1 year ago, but some things that I think we appreciate here and we are so welcome is that people here share the same values than us. That's the family and the love of the animals, especially beef cattle, right? So I'd like thanks again. This is my email and contact where you guys can reach me, and I'll be glad to take some questions either here in this audience and online questions as well. Okay, thank you very much. Well, just to inform the people online, the questions about the different we were expecting different results when we went for a large number of animals, but we couldn't find. Yeah, actually, kind of surprised us. We were expecting that we could find it different, but we couldn't. Probably can be something related to the breed, actually respond to temperature, but the part of the reproduction is not so impacted for the temperature and maybe the follicular and other reproduction stuff. And yeah, let's see if we could do large number of animals, but with different breeds down there in Brazil, or even checking other different impacts or in bosinitis in a long term, having other effects than reproduction. The smartanin, uh, for methionine, yeah, we have other products that we can use for heat stress. You mean? Yeah, we have vitamin E. Methane is something that people are starting to work on, but I don't have pretty clear some results to say right now. But I know that some people are studying those. Thank you. There is one here online. The first one is Dr. Brauner. What would be one thing you saw at the center that you would like to have in your institution? It's a good question. No, um, I think here um, differently than that, we don't have these kind of facilities, especially the pastures, and we can use it and have more control of the animals. Um, even uh, if we can use less animals, but having more control of it, getting better results. So that's something that I really would like to have over there. And even I didn't mention we have a farm, experimental farm over there in our university, but it's far away from for the camp. So having this experience to be so close to the field, coming to here to lab and to office, that's very nice too. But the main thing is this facility, the pastures, the, the way of collection. It's easily, you know, totally different in an experimental farm because over there we use commercial farms. At the beginning, it's when we plan to do some research is very nice, but sometimes when we use beef cattle, as you may know, takes long. So sometimes in the middle of the experiment, we have some difficulties because it's a commercial farm. They have to sell some cattle. I'd like to have a experimental farm and this kind of facilities over there in Brazil for sure. The other one, it's in your experience, when it comes to methionine supplementation, is the dosage or the product more important? Um, we just did research with one product, and we've tried different doses, and I I think if I could do a new one research, I would try different doses from now and check if the response would be different because uh, methionine, this supplement, it's not that cheap, so maybe would be great to have a exactly dosage to supplement the animals. We have used methionine at lower levels and from a different company during the late gestation, our summer. It's here in Florida. And we have not seen any benefits to the offspring growth so far. just adding information. Yeah, yeah. Let's see. I still keep trying different dosage as well. And I talked about price. This morning I was discussing with Vinicius. The price it's around 5 cents per count per day. Probably still the price is still this nowadays. Okay, I think I got just this couple of questions online. Does anybody here have questions? No? Thank you very much.
I would like to welcome you all to come back and join us in October for our next Ona Highlight. That is going to be another guest presenter, Dr. Augustine Abor. He's going to be presenting grazing of cover crops and annual forages to improve soil health in dry land cropping systems in the semi-arid Great Plains. He is a professor of soil science at Kansas State University and a former PhD student of Dr. Maria Silveira. Again, that's October 24th, which is a little later than we normally meet at 11 o'clock. So I will share that registration information with you when I send you the recording of today's presentation. Additionally, we invite you to join us in October on the 19th for the Building Sustainable Pastures for Healthy Livestock from the Ground Up program. That is going to be held here at the Research Center, and it's going to be a full day program from 9 a.m. until 2, and tickets are $25 and free for high school or college students. As I mentioned, full day program with indoor instruction, lunch, and an afternoon visit to the weed garden. Registration ends October the 13th, and I will share this flyer with you as well in that email. If you're not already doing so, we invite you to follow us on social media. We are on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. And all of these Ona highlights are recorded, so you can check them all out on YouTube. And if you are not a part of our mailing list, send an email to me at ona@ifas.ufl.edu, and I would be happy to add you to our mailing list so that you can receive weekly newsy emails of all the happenings here at the center. Thank you again for joining us, and we hope that you can come back in October.